This is a video for those who are making one of our posies, which can be finished either as a hanging ornament or worn as a pin. And your kit includes a pin back and also enough thread so that you can make a hanger. So I am assuming that you, if you're watching this video, are coming to our upcoming workshop. You're certainly welcome to watch this video if you're not signed up for the workshop, but this is just a little pre-work to get people started. Now, the first thing I always recommend is take a look at what comes in your kit, take a look at the directions, assemble any supplies that you're going to need. I'm going to be demonstrating on this color, so make sure that you read what colors, thread, etc. come in your particular choice of kit, because there are 4 colorways. You're going to have these 2 squares that are 2.5 inches and they're pre-cut. This 2-inch square is pre-cut, and the only thing you will need to cut is a circle out of whatever is the color that's in the center of yours. So you'll see the kit calls, or the pattern rather, calls for you to have something for drawing a 1-inch circle. It can be something that you draw around, such as one of these, and we recommend you use something like a friction pen that you can, where you can iron off the marks later. And you can also use something like one of these that has a 1-inch that you can trace through. We're not making, some kind of brain surgery instrument here, so if it's a tiny bit bigger or smaller than an inch, it's not going to wreck the whole project. Now, when you're finished tracing that, you cut it out, and you can see that I have measured it and put, with that same erasable marker, a dot in the center of it. This is all in the directions, but this is just so that you can see the directions live. Now, this is going to be my circle over the first square, and then these other squares will be behind it later on. So all we're doing before the workshop is appliquing, cutting out and appliquing this circle onto this first little square. That's all you need to get done. So the directions will show you how to mark, that you need to mark midway on each side. You mark the center, and then you mark a 1/2 inch in from each of these points, which I know seems a lot of marking, but what that means you can do is, if you want to, you can just take a little pin, mark through the dots, or pin through the dots where the marks are, and you'll see that this will fit inside, or, you can line it up with these little marks that you put, so that you want to get this exactly in the center, because you don't want to do all this work and then realize that, you've done the embroidery and the whole thing is a little bit off the center. Of course, if it's just a little off, you can trim the square down. Nobody's really going to know. We'll aim for perfection and then see what happens. I'm just going to start by putting a couple of straight pins in to hold this. You may have smaller pins to work with. Next, you're going to take the needle in your kit, and it will be a size 7 needle. Some of the kits are going to have a size 7 embroidery. Some have a size 7 applique. Whichever one your kit has, it's a smaller needle than the other needles are in the kit. And the point is that either of these size 7 needles is going to be good with 2 strands of DMC floss, and make a knot on the end of your floss and thread your needle up. Now, you'll notice I'm demonstrating this with some kind of a dark green color. Obviously, your kit has a pink that matches this exactly. I just want you to be able to see the stitches. They are going to be visible in your finished product, but they're not going to be the most noticeable thing. So I'm coming up from the back, and I'm just going to do the applique whip stitch. So I'm taking just a little bite into the fabric. So I'm coming down into the fabric right next to where I came up from the back. So I've come up through both layers and I've come out on the center circle. All I'm doing is attaching the center circle to the background. So you see, I'm going through at an angle like that. And what this does is it puts just a little piece of the thread showing. Obviously, yours is going to be quite invisible because your thread will match your pink or whatever your center color is. So I just keep going like this. Now, what you don't want to do, we're not hemming a set of curtains. What you don't want to do is come up here and then start going way over here and having the thread go the long way. See the difference? Now I'd be seeing quite a bit of the thread on the surface here, which is not the effect we want. We're looking to make as invisible a stitch as we can. So we're just coming down right near where we came up. And that diagonal part of the stitch is going on underneath where it will not show when we're finished. It really hardly even shows in the back. You don't have to get through every single layer of the felt, but anything that happens with this stitching, it's going to be covered up later on. So you don't really have to worry about at all how this looks on the back. So you should be all set. If you come into class with leave these marks on, you're going to need the center marked and these, you want to have these side parts marked still, and just come in with this circle sewn onto this square, and you don't need to do anything else. We will talk about all the embroidery stitches and the construction during class.